Hi, this is Rebecca with Single Socials on tips for online dating, especially with January coming up. That's when traditionally most people join online dating sites either for the first time or on and off after a while and they start up again. So you'll meet more people than usual. Your money goes the farthest. Everyone should have a face photo and a full body photo. One of those photos should show you doing something fun, some activity that the other gender could potentially relate to, think, oh, we enjoy the same thing, or I could do that with them. Um, and if you're a guy, I recommend you also have at least one photo of you hanging out with some other people, whether it's a couple guy friends or a mixed crowd. Maybe you're at a birthday party for a niece or nephew, just something that kind of shows other people are comfortable being around you. Don't do a photo though where it's like a bunch of beautiful women and you. That doesn't send quite the right message. So you and a couple guy and girl friends, the girls look very modest, like they might be your sister, like that's more the vibe. So if you're a guy, I recommend those photos. And if you're a lady, again, a face shot, a full body, a good action photo, because both men and women should make a strong effort to have nice looking photos, really nice. Spending your money on professional photographers, I actually do recommend that in the long run. It's going to save you money because although there's a saying, love is blind, until people know you and love you, all they have is your photo and just a few words that you write. And I wish we didn't live in that kind of a world. But that is the game of online dating. So save your money. Don't play the game unless you're going to have really good photos that you put up there. I have one additional tip for women. I call it the glamour shot. And it's essentially if you were to like imagine it's that end of the movie, they've been friends for the whole movie, but then at the end of the movie, and he opens the door to take her to the dance because they've just been buddies, and there she is in this like gorgeous, amazing dress, and her hair is finally down, and she just looks like a heartthrob. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, where have you been all my life?" You want to let that side of yourself be seen. Be that obvious, gorgeous person straight up, set that tone. I think it'll serve you well. So that's photos, and I don't think anything there should surprise you, but this might. What you write is going to be a lot more about turning people away, causing people to not want to write you, than it is about trying to get people to write you. Not everyone on Christian sites is maybe quite as sincere in their faith or walking it out daily as what you're looking for. And if that's the case, then in your blurbs and your writing, talk about how on a date at some point you'd want to visit each other's churches and down the road, things you'd want to do on a date is study the Bible together. If this is the truth for you, and I'm betting it is, then the person you're looking for would actually be encouraged by that and be relieved to find that it's not just women that have trouble finding the kind of guy they're looking for on a singles dating app. The men I talk to in my ministry say the same thing. They're like, I check Christian, and I query on Christian, and I get a lot of these nice women who say they're Christian, but they don't go to church. They don't know my favorite scriptures. I want to find that kind of a woman. This is what they say to me. So they will be relieved when they read your profile. They'll be like, oh, finally, she, her, and they'll reach out to you. And time is your greatest investment. Then your photos attracts people and your wording pushes away the ones that would just be wasting your time. And that is a really powerful thing. Otherwise, for wording, if you're a woman, keep it uh, kind of on the brief side, keep it upbeat, talk about the things you enjoy doing. It helps him find points of common interest where he could know something to say to start the conversation. Um, so, fun things you like to do, just basic things. Don't get too specific with where you live or anything like that, of course, for safety reasons. And whether or not he reads your preferred authors or like spicy food when you like bland or whatever, that actually is not the things that cause a long lasting marriage. And tons of happily married people like completely different authors and books and types of food. Opposites attract. I don't know, just try to be similar on the most important things. and just let the rest go. And if you're a guy, when it comes to wording, what I would recommend is, again, you don't need to be verbose. But what women tend to find more often is guys writing so few words that it's hard to feel like they're really taking this seriously. So write enough so that it's clear that you're actually taking your time and their time seriously on this app. So that would be the threshold there. So that's photos and what to write, but your time being the most important investment makes me say that if you have the time and if you have the money, then rather than kind of do one dating site and then try another dating site and 9 months have gone by and you've been on and off, um, say to yourself, for these 1 to 3 months, I'm going to be very focused. I'm going to make a plan. I'm going to be dedicated. This is my 1 to 3 months to just really prioritize dating, online dating, and then pay the money for 2 or 3 sites all at the same time because your time is the most valuable part. And so if you really plan it that way, if you say the next month, 2 months, 3 months, you know, 2 days a week, I'm giving to online dating. On Tuesdays, I'll screen people by Zoom or by phone. And then on Thursdays or Saturdays, I'll meet people in person. So every week you're pushing through candidates. You need to kind of expect that for every one person you want to date, you might have to go through 10 people that you had to screen out. And preferably to be efficient, you've scheduled more than one man or woman to see when you've gone out. So for the price of parking once, you've screened 2 people, maybe more. Um, and maybe what you do at the end of that is meet up with a friend. It makes your journey more of a success, less of a waste of time. If you go through those 2 people and they're both like a dud, they're both discouraging, hey, at least you get to hang out with a friend now. Be encouraged, feel like your morning wasn't for nothing. And these are just all really important, helpful ways to not only stay efficient, but to stay motivated and to stay encouraged. Also, bring your computer, bring a Bible, and just in case there's no shows. Again, expect no shows. That's part of the game. And so, if you come prepared for that, you can still be getting things done. And if you're a guy, women know that time is your greatest resource. And so, you being willing to drive out to where she is, and in particular, you putting the time in to picking a nice restaurant, even if you're just doing coffee or drinks, even if it's a short amount of time. If you let her know that you've like researched, the 3 coffee shops near her, or Googled like the 3 best Chinese food restaurants, if she tells you she likes Chinese, all of that is really, really meaningful to most women. So to keep that in mind. Okay, so one last note about efficiency and then one more note about safety. For efficiency, I recommend having a unique email address to use for dating. Keeps everything organized, adds another layer of safety because you won't use your name, don't use your first or last name in this dating email. So it's just another kind of layer of buffer between you and your personal information. Then when you're Zooming with people or anything like that, you can just work with this dating email. But so it's efficient and it's also efficient emotionally because when we have all these online accounts hooked up to our normal email, then every time we go on to, I don't know, like email a friend or maybe check a work email or anything, it's it's a constant reminder that I did get a like, or I didn't get a like, or so and so got back to me or didn't get back to me. And it's like this emotional roller coaster or drain all the time. And you don't need that. And then you say to yourself, I'm only going to check it once a week, or I'm only going to check it at this time each day, whatever works best for you. And and you can eventually even let people know that. You can say, I check my online account, Tuesdays and Fridays. So now the people that are reaching out to you understand to be patient until Tuesday or Friday to hear from you. And so it's not like dominating your life. You can set limits, which in the long run, I think will keep you motivated and going. And sure, when you hit it off with someone, you'll talk more often or whatever. But these are just some basic tips. So for safety, guys, don't tune out yet because this does apply to both of you. men and women. It's legal to do a background check on anyone, anywhere, anytime, at least as of the making of this video. If you're hiring them, then you need their permission in writing. But if it's not an employment situation, you can do a background check on anyone. And you can just go to Google and like type in, top background check, websites or whatever, and you'll get a bunch. If you just pay for like one background check at a time, oh, I don't know, it might be like 15 bucks or something a person, which is kind of pricey. But if you get a subscription, it might be something like $15 a month, and you have unlimited background checks that you can run, which again, be focused for 1 to 3 months. You'll pay the subscription fee for unlimited background checks because you're on more than one online dating site, because you're really pouring yourself into it, and you've spent money on the photos. You're just doing it well. I know one person ran background checks on someone they met through one of my events once, and that person had filed bankruptcy in the past. And it's okay to date and marry people who have had bankruptcy in the past. Everyone has a story. Sometimes there's a really good reason, or sometimes they've learned a lesson from it or whatever. But it was useful data for her to have. But from a safety standpoint, likely most acts of violence and all of that have not been reported yet and would not be on a background check. So background checks are like a band-aid. They're important, but they really are surface level. So you just tell yourself, I am never going to be alone with anyone that I meet anywhere um, until the following has occurred. I have gotten to know multiple other people in their life that I trust. So when you've eventually gotten to meet his friends or her pastor, and they all seem like great people, none of them give you like this red flag feeling in your gut. They all seem great. They all seem to know this person that you're dating really well. It's not like all of them have only known them a month, but many of them go back years, and you see how this person interacts with them, and you've also had a good feeling about this person all along. And when every kind of checkpoint that you're with this person has proven to be great, and then meeting a number of other people in their life with, again, history uh, proves to be great, when that's when I start to relax a little bit. You just got to play it safe, especially when you're not meeting people through other people, but when you're really just flying blind on the internet, it can be safe. You can find great people. You just have to be smarter about it, more careful. But that doesn't mean don't try online dating. Go ahead and join some of the larger sites, like the ones that everyone hears about on TV. Um, but I would also recommend joining some of the sites that are just for Christians. And I don't mean like Christian Mingle, because everyone's heard about that. I'm referring to those smaller ones that like only Christians would go out of their way to Google and join. That's where you're going to find people that when they say Christian, they meet in on a daily and weekly basis, not just on a my family sometimes goes to church kind of basis. If that matters to you, if you want to be dating someone who will go to church with you all the time, and one day, talk to your kids and pray with your kids, just like you would, if you're looking for that kind of similarity, and definitely, definitely, definitely grab some buddies, grab a girlfriend, a wingman, a wingwoman, laugh about this, joke about this, um, just have someone who's in it with you to encourage you along the way. And when you meet a nice person online and they really seem nice, but after a few dates with them, you realize that, you guys just don't have enough in common, but they're nice, but just not for you. Don't say goodbye. Don't say goodbye to them. Don't say goodbye. Say, I have a friend that I'd like to introduce you to. Um, that would be so much nicer. That would be kinder to your friend. And that would be kinder to this person. If you really have a nice friend, and if this is really a nice person, then save everyone the time and trouble of going back online to randomly meet each other. Make a warm introduction yourself. And maybe one day someone will do that for you. God bless. Take care.